My name is Elijah Browne. I am a third year at the College of St. Benedict and St. John's University, and I'm studying educational media with a minor in computer science. I am a Trinidadian American. I grew up in the Bronx, New York City. After I visited, I felt like I would be going to like an institution as opposed to just any other college. So my decision was made right away. I was able to see the stars when I looked up at night, which is something that like growing up in New York, I didn't really get to see. And the only time I would get to see stars is like when I would visit my family in Trinidad. So my perspective on the College of St. Benedict and St. John's University was different from my fly-in weekend as opposed to me being here as an actual student. For your fly-in weekend, they place you with someone who's a lot like you. I was placed with one of the Bohemian students here, and I got to be around like a lot of the Black community at CSBSJU. And it definitely felt like it was larger than it actually was, as opposed to actually being here as a real student. Like it was so noticeable when I started going here, especially during the pandemic. So there was already a sense of loneliness, and then having a very small community didn't make it any better. So once again, I did start during the pandemic. So I spent a lot of that first year alone, but slowly but surely I started finding friends that were like me. My strategy for that was just kind of like joining every club, community, and organization. But what you realize is that not every club, community, and organization really wants you there. So you would join these like clubs and organizations, and then you would find yourself to be the only Black person on the team. And you'd find yourself only really doing the work that they don't want to do, like, and it's all like the outreach work. You become the poster child for like diversity, and that's not really them wanting you there. That's more of like them wanting a token. But you do find the people that you're looking for after a while. So I definitely kind of found my community in like media organizations. So when I was a freshman, I joined Johnny Bunny Campus News, and I really loved it. And I was there for like from then until now, and now I'm actually the news manager. I'm a part of Extending the Link, which is amazing. I love that too. And then I also started this group with my friends called Afro STEM, and it's just a group of like people of color and women who just really love STEM and understand that we are underrepresented, and we help support other people studying it. When I think about the problem with equity and inclusion, part on administration, and it's also part on like the student community. A lot of the students here are just, they're from small towns in Minnesota where they maybe never seen a person of color before, which is, it's very surprising the first time that you really encounter someone who's never seen a person of color before. I'm not gonna chalk the problem up to Minnesota, but being in a predominantly white area was definitely different, and people do look at you differently, especially as a Black person. You're running into a lot of people who at this stage in their lives may have never seen anyone who's different from them. I found myself being really good at just accepting that people weren't at the stage in their life to really learn how to accept other people. And then eventually I learned that that's not okay. Just because someone isn't done growing yet doesn't mean you're supposed to accept them as they are. It also, at the same time, it's not my job to actively educate everyone to bring them to that level. But it is kind of my responsibility to myself to call it out. I will say that the administration at CSBSJU, they do try and they do make an active effort to work towards equity and inclusion. Because I started in the pandemic, my ability to find community was a little stunted. Since I wasn't able to just go out and talk to whoever I wanted, I kind of had to stick to like 4 or 5 people, even if they weren't the best. And then eventually, the next year rolled around and I was able to kind of go outside and meet people. So I definitely do see a push towards building a better student community now as opposed to when I started. When I'm asked if I would recommend this university to a Black student or a student who's like me from New York City, I often go back and forth in my own head if I would even say yes. I definitely do think that I've had a great experience so far, but with that great experience, there were also some really terrible ones. I don't know how I would feel subjecting someone else to that by saying yes, but also saying no would kind of take away from all the amazing things that they could experience as well. If I had to pick CSBSJU again, I would definitely do it. Once again, as I said before, I feel like I'm going to an institution. I'm getting the most out of my education that I wouldn't get anywhere else. When I think about other colleges and universities, I kind of see a place where you're only there for like 4 years and then you graduate and you go on to do whatever else. But Bennies and Johnnies who graduate from CSB and SJU. They go on to do amazing things. They're astronauts, CEOs, documentarians, teachers, doctors, nurses. I feel like I'm joining a long list of amazing people.